Hello, this is a Neo Geo Pocket handheld game system. It's the console, the handheld console that SNK came out with before the Neo Geo Pocket Color. So this is a black and white system. It does not have a color screen, and it played black and white games. The game cartridges are the same form factor as Neo Geo Pocket Color cartridges, and in fact, you can play a lot of Neo Geo Pocket Color cartridges in a Neo Geo Pocket black and white system. Um, they'll just play in black and white. Now, there are also a lot of Neo Geo Pocket Color games that won't play at all in a Neo Geo Pocket black and white system, so bear that in mind. And then there are, Neo Geo Pocket had its own games that were just black and white cartridges. There are a couple Actually, there are three cartridges I have for the Neo Geo Pocket Color that do interesting things in a Neo Geo Pocket that you actually don't get in the Neo Geo Pocket Color. For instance, in SNK versus Capcom Match of the Millennium, that's a Neo Geo Pocket Color game. If you put it in a Neo Geo Pocket, it will show you one of, I think, 12 random character dialogues between Capcom and SNK characters from the game where they're just talking. And I have the Japanese version of the cartridge, so I don't actually know what they're talking about, but it's nice character art anyway. Let's see, if you put the Neo Geo Pocket Color game Pac-Man in a Neo Geo Pocket, it plays in black and white, but it's not the black and white you might expect. It's actually inverted color values, so you're a black Pac character eating black dots in a white or light gray maze, so it's sort of like negative image Pac-Man, so that's kind of trippy. And then finally there's a Neo Geo Pocket Color game that came out only in Japan called King of Fighters Battle to Paradise. It's kind of a board game thing where you're going around a giant board game as various SNK characters or King of Fighters characters. And if you put that in a Neo Geo Pocket, it doesn't play the regular board game Battle to Paradise. It plays a completely different game, actually, a port of one of SNK's first arcade games called Yosaku, in which you play a woodsman chopping down trees and you're menaced by birds and wild boars and things. It's an interesting game because the original arcade game is a lost game. There are no known working boards of it. Nobody dumped the ROM, so you can't even play it in emulator, the original arcade game, but SNK made this port and hid it in a Neo Geo Pocket Color game, and you can only play that port of this ancient SNK original arcade game in a Neo Geo Pocket. So that's fun. The console itself takes, unlike the Neo Geo Pocket Color, it takes two AAA batteries, not double A's like the Pocket Color, but two AAA batteries. Those are the smaller ones, smaller than the double A's. But then, like the Neo Geo Pocket Color, it takes the same battery for the system battery, which is a CR2032 battery, a flat round battery. So this system itself, it's, as you might think, kind of old, but in pretty good shape, I think. There are a couple tiny little scratches on the screen. That's about it, really. One interesting thing about this system, too, that is not on the Pocket Color is that it's got a contrast knob, and I'll show you that in action when I put in some batteries. Otherwise, it has the same things the Color has, which is a volume knob, a headphone jack, and a AC charger jack. It uses the same AC charger as the Neo Geo Pocket Color. One second. So that's about all I can show you without putting batteries in it. So why don't I go put some batteries in the system right now. Put batteries in the system. I am not, again, including batteries, so you will need to supply your own two AAA batteries for the main power and then a CR2032 battery, or yeah, for the system. So, okay, when you power it on, and I have no game cartridge in, so when you power it on with no game cartridge, and I probably need to go adjust the contrast knob. There we go. So you've got a system software pretty much just like the Neo Geo Pocket Color. You got a calendar, world time thing. Sure. Hello, get me out of here. A horoscope, an alarm, and the settings, which I was trying to. If you haven't had a battery in it for a while, it'll take you through the settings right when you first turn it on, so you can pick a language. I'm gonna switch hands. Set date and time, and that's it. So that's it, and of course it's mainly used for playing game cartridges. Again, it can't play all Neo Geo Pocket Color games, but it can play the games specifically made before the Pocket Color is out, so that were just for Neo Geo Pocket. And it can play a bunch of the Neo Geo Pocket Color games. Hello. Don't worry, it's sturdy, it's fine. And I guess that's about it. So, yeah, like when I first got into Neo Geo Pocket Color, I had sort of missed the Neo Geo Pocket, and I happened to spot one in a game store that I went to on the outskirts of town one day. I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? And so I got it, and that's this. And it's kind of cool. I didn't actually play it that much because, frankly, the Neo Geo Pocket Color's screen is better even for playing the black and white games. But like for instance, there is a good deal of ghosting on this screen, so when stuff is moving around, it kind of leaves a trail. You can't really see that in these menus because they're not action oriented, but in certain games you see it, like in King of Fighters R1, which is a fighting game, which is a very good fighting game, but it is sometimes hard to follow on the old black and white screen with the ghosting. But still, pretty cool system. Oh, one thing I should say is that it's smaller than the Neo Geo Pocket Color, just a little smaller, even smaller than the so-called slim Neo Geo Pocket Color model that came out later in Japan after the original Neo Geo Pocket Color. This is still smaller than even the smallest model of the Neo Geo Pocket Color, so that's kind of cool. And it's still got the clicky 8-way stick, and 2 buttons and an option button. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I don't know. See you later.